Hello and welcome back. Today we are back in the Alabeo aircraft, the M2 Vidandesign. I apologize that I was saying a wrong aircraft type yesterday, but I have rectified it now. Okay, what this video is about is that we are actually going to fly here from Varde Airfield, an airfield rendition that I actually have made in X-plane, just to make it look a bit more like the real thing, even though there are some things that is not as it is in reality, but to make it look a bit more like how it actually is, and it is uploaded to the X-plane gateway, so just so you know. And then we are flying to another project, and that's basically why we are doing this flight. It is that we are flying to Vidandesign Grenaa Airfield. It is for free at the moment. The developer has made quite some add-ons for FSX and Prepared. I have been beta tester for that guy, that is John, and John is doing a very nice job with his local airfields here based in Denmark. He's focusing on airfields and airports in Denmark, and he recently has released Aalborg Airport for X-plane, and Billund Airport that he has made for some time ago for FSX and Prepared is coming to X-plane as well. And I'm not sure if it actually was because that I actually was talking to John about the opportunity to make it to X-plane, and then there may have been some pressure to get it to X-plane, or whatever the decision might be. I don't know. I just know that I have been using his scenery in X-plane and demonstrated a few screenshots and such, and now luckily he is working on it here for X-plane 11, and that's a good thing. And I'm proud when those small things are happening. Just like it reminds me of when I actually was more active in FSX and such, when I actually saw a project where they have made runway lights and such, because today in FSX and such you actually see those lights, but in the past you didn't know that it was not existing until a given point after I actually saw a project where it was actually for FS 2004, and then I was thinking, well, why not include it, and I was purchasing a 3D model of some taxi lights and runway lights, and actually did it for a project that might not be as known. It was actually also Billund Airport, but it was by a different guy. It was a guy that actually was that at that time had a company named Airfields that has changed name once or twice, as far as I remember, where I actually jumped in and did a bit of work for them. developer. Not that I was great at it, but it came out, and after a little while, slowly more and more airports actually had those lights, and that's nice. Yes, I know that we cannot partly go into the wind. Why is that I wanted to show you the most beautiful way to varde here. What I was thinking here was that slowly we got more and more projects for the simulator that actually had those lights, and today it is more or less standard in most add-ons. For some reason I'm a bit happy that the general idea actually got out, and we see it as a more general thing today, because it was a bit odd when you look at an airport project and you only had those lights but no real light pole, you could say, with more lights besides the runway and taxiways, so it didn't feel right. Then it's great to sit back today and see how far it actually has gone for that particular simulator. But of course I can't say that there was any cause of it, but the idea for some reason got out and was implemented in projects, and today it's, as said quite sometimes, the standard. And it was just a small thing, but it makes it more realistic, because that's how if you want to simulate what you see as a pilot, it is part of it. Of course, it has always also been due to the time as we moved on, because it got more and more complex, and our computers also got more and more powerful. So that's a nice thing. As well as I'm quite proud of my small autopilot project that I'm using here, and I'm happy that for the most part I can use it to be Canada Alabama aircraft at the moment, because it makes it a lot easier to adjust those values. I know one developer that makes it even nicer and easier. I shouldn't say nicer, easier. You just have those manipulators that you can pull and push. And yes, it is J-Fly Sim, or it's the guy behind the dash and the 727 that I actually have previewed here on the channel as well. He has made some quite nice things there, and I often say it because it's a desktop simulation, and if you only have mouse and keyboard sitting in it, just those small knobs here, it takes ages to just scroll or hold it down. Then it's easier just to use my project here, where I actually have the ability to switch between single digits or 10 at a time for your heading, and 100 feet at a time for your altitude, or 1,000 feet. Just it's more like mixing it, but you have this option to click to the later, and that makes it a bit more easy to adjust it in a short time. And add-on developers could implement it as well if they like it, but it could be even more easy, because the main issue with my project here is that it gets outdated more or less over time now. I can really see it, because more and more developers go in the direction that we have from the FSX and Prepared, where they are building more and more custom coding into the aircraft in order to make the aircraft functionality be more like the real aircraft, and simulation more like the aircraft, and that is of course required if you want to simulate it well, because look at it, simulator here is created around some basic principles, and they are of course luckily improving. You have seen that for the altitude, you can say, because as you would know from X-Men 10, the altitude could be 3,510, 20, 30 feet, which would not be that valid for an aircraft as it is in whole feet, with the exception of if you have an aircraft and you are using the altitude hold, then of course it would take your current altitude, and then it is valid for, but for adjusting it is not that valid, and it takes forever to adjust the altitude. Just to take one of the issues or concerns you could say we might have had here, and that's why I actually did my autopilot project, because I really wanted to jump in to explain, but had a few quirkiness here and there that I didn't feel was quite right, and was a bit annoyed. And in the beginning it worked nice, but now we are actually moving on. Developers want to make things more realistic, and that's nice, and that's why I say that you should always try to make your project be, how should I say, interesting for the most people, because the more interested people, the more value you got for the main project, and you get more customers. And the more easy you make it, or at least giving the options to make it a bit unrealistic, you can say, for some of the things that I have mentioned for the autopilot, of course, like 1,000 feet at a time and 10 degrees at a time. And it really might not be a problem if if the manipulators was adjusted to work a bit more like in reality slash in FSX, because in reality often the knobs rotation would start slowly, and then if you move it very fast it would go into a faster mode, so it actually would switch quicker. And that's something that is still missing in the X-ray from some perspectives. And it's all those small things that make a project complete and gives customer to say this is a project I really want to have, because you can build a very nice simulation, and my best example right now is actually one that I have reviewed as well, the RW design stuff. I really like the project, but there are just something that makes even using the small jet of X-plane itself more easy to use the Garmin E1000. And yes, I know how it is due to some differences in the input and by the knobs and such, but in reality we also got the main hardware, and it is easier for you to adjust, and that's why I actually say that the E1000 is a nice step forward from the old GPS like you got in this one, where you actually click and drag the knobs, and it takes quite a while, and why I actually always have said it's easy to use FNS, because you can just click the letters that you want, and I can actually enter a flight plan much quicker from that perspective. And that's why you could say what could be handy would be if we could actually get a nifty project or panel or whatever they might be able to create, where you actually have the letters and you could actually enter it that way. It would be a lot easier, and I guess that more users would actually start entering these things into GPS instead of just, because it's, of course it is easy just to load up and flight plan. That's of course the cheapest way, you can say, that you can just do it that way, and of course that's valid. But again, if you are in flight and air traffic control gives you a direct to somewhere, it is nice that you can actually do it in a short amount of time instead of sitting, because sometimes time gets critical and you have a lot of things to do even in a real aircraft, and then we are limited to the mouse, and that's something that I think people should start thinking a bit about, to get out to as many possible customers as they could, because from my perspective it would be mostly important to make a nice simulation, but also make it as good as a new guide to the simulation would say, well, this is something that I could want to get into, because that way you would actually earn more money in the end. So it's not that I just sit here and say, well, you should do this and do this and do this, because it takes time. Yes, it does, but in the end, if you can get 200 and 400 more customers, wouldn't it be worth it in the end for your profit? Now I said low values, could be thousands, because we really need to get people locked onto simulation, because there are those that just wanna jump in and fly and don't take it that serious, and then okay, let them you could just make options to simulate things and not just like other developers are doing. So you actually have the option. The other way around is just like building a game, and then you actually lose customers when you try to force them to do something. And I personally do. If you gave me a game and say you can't, now I can't give a good scenario, but there are actually games I do not want to play, and that's basically because sometimes you are forced to do doing things, as well as one of the things that I could say that I really don't like about games these days, and that is basically because they are making games. They try to expand the playtime you have in the game, but in the end, you're just sitting and doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's why I often say, what is the point in making a huge game with a lot of content if it's just the same thing you are doing over and over and over and over again? Because in the end, I don't completely. It's often you can go in and see that people just have completed 60% of the game because, well, they play the main story and then they stop. Just try to look at the sale for games if they was going in and forcing you actually to complete whole areas before you could continue to the next mission and such. Then I don't think people would be that good happy, because then it would take forever to play the game and in the end might get bored and just say, well, I wanted to complete the game and to see what in general content is, instead of just doing the same things over and over and over and over again. But personal preference. And the same you can push into the flight simulations. Because yes, things in life has consequences and all that kind of stuff, but there are just those people that don't really care. They just want to have a bit of fun. Not that I am a huge fan of that, but in the end you can get out to those individuals in between the very complex stuff and just the simple way of flying. There are different kind of audience out there, and then I just don't understand why a developer wouldn't take the full opportunity to reach out to as many as possible, because that would be what I would do, because I would get the most benefit out of the main project, the most profit, as I get the most possible amount of customers. So that's a long story, and I know I talk a bit about it from time to time, but it is really because it is something that is, it is something that have my interest, and I really burn for this community, and I really enjoy flying. And would have liked to make it a living, but that's not how it is. Even though I have tried, and I have been flying in real worlds, and I've been flying ATR simulation, not full motion, but it doesn't matter because the simulator I was using was valid, as it's still fully certified for training pilots for that particular aircraft type.
because that's one of the main things that some people think, well, if you want to simulate, go out to a freelance crew and really want to simulate for a particular aircraft, you need a full motion simulator. And the main answer to that is no, you don't, because that you got the full motion, well, it just completes the feeling of what the aircraft is doing, but in fact, it's not required. And sit flat like you're doing here in the desktop simulator. Of course, if you are in the full motion simulator, you have a better feeling for when you are climbing, descending, whatever you're doing, even though it can be tricky, just as it can in real life. As we have seen scenarios where pilots actually didn't know what was up or down, even though they have instruments and such, because you can get confused when you are just in those clouds and such. You can lose traction of what is what. Even though you can sit down here and say, well, you might know if your body is in an angled position upwards or down or such, but it can be confusing. So here we go. We still got around 11.5 minutes nearly, and we are now getting close to the Aarhus airport. And that's basically, now I can tell that the developer we are showcasing this project here, Aarhus Airport, was actually one of the first projects he ever made for FFX. I can't remember if it was the first one or which one actually was. I just know that Aarhus was the first commercial airport, you could say, as such. That he was releasing for free. This all the airport has always been free, but let's see in the future what plans he actually have. I can't remember if he has been talking about Aarhus. A revisit and then like a fee-ware version, and I could fully understand it because the version he has done in the past is very nice and a nice project for a beginner. I remember quite some that was quite amazed with his work at that particular airport, included, because it looked so nice, and we don't have any add-ons for that particular airport, so it was great. So it is a very passionate guy about making airfields here in Denmark, and that's nice. You really get that passionate for something. Like myself, I really want, as I've been mentioning, projects here for flight simulation, and that they are great. But I also know that I'm not the guy that would do every single flight by the book and such. And now I know that some stuff is not set right in the aircraft, and that's perfectly fine for me. I get from A to B, and I have a nice aerodynamic along the way, and that was actually what I tried to mention before as well, that we are different. And and not before people actually realize that we can convince people, because we are different. And some say, well, it is perfectly fine that you do not like our product or something like that. And I just say, yeah, that could be. But now, let's say we have that, and that is one of the main issues from my perspective, from other simulators, you know. And it is, we can have two Boeing 737-800s as an example. One is made by one company and another by a second company. And I, in the past, have had both and sit in both and say, well, this one is not really that great on the aerodynamics, but it has the most of the other. And then I have the other that has the other missing piece. And then you sit and say, well, I have two add-ons. If we could just have mixed it, we would have had the best possible add-on. And that's one of the sad things, because of course we are different as developers as well, because I might be good at finding out some ways for what might be easy for the customer and such, but I can't program it, other than to not that great level. That was actually what happened with the project for Bidon that I was working on. I'm not proud of how it ended, because it was very frame heavy, and it was actually because I wanted so many details, but again there were so many objects and even no FSX and the bed. Those details have to be cut away to a certain degree, else the simulator would just go nuts with the frame rate really low. And that's how it is, but it is nice, as we can see here for X-Plane at the moment. There are some good aspects, like we see Tornado Alabama aircraft is a known guy that is actually working with X-Plane, that is converting them over, or it's not sure that how much they are converting or such, who is doing what, but they are finding ways to do what they are best to. So it could be Tornado say, well, we might not have that much interest, or might not be in a position where we actually want to go fully in on the X-Plane, but we know it's Sky, and we can make the systems and such work with our aircraft if they are working together, and that's perfectly fine. So we got around 4 minutes, so we reach our destination here, and then we have to find out how to land, because I actually never been at this airfield before, so I haven't flown it. So it is actually my very first time arriving here at Grenaa, it is named, the airfield. So we are exploring this from this same standpoint. We have not been flying to this particular airfield. So let's get ready here. We're gonna descend 1,000 feet just to make sure we have the best opportunity to actually see the runway. And now we soon are balanced. I know we took off with an imbalance, just like we did yesterday, because I did not mess with the fuel figures. And by the way, if you are wondering here about the QNH inset, it is adjusting the altitude. QNH is because I'm using my own small script, and that's again to make it a bit easier. Because I push a button, because often you sit here and say, is it the right value it is set for? And zoom in, zoom out in order to do things. And then I just got the main idea. I had to admit I had the idea from FSX, where you just press E. And here I just assign 2 buttons. So when I press one button, it is set to local QNH. That this simulator is actually showing up here at the moment. It is what the simulator knows at the moment, so it can't be more accurate for the altitude because it actually is set directly from the information that X-Plane actually got. And then I have, if I hold down the control key and press the same button, it would set it for the standard parameter at 29.92. Okay, 1 minute to go. And we are just gonna slow down here, and we can continue down, because I know that we are soon at the destination, so we're just gonna continue the descent down here, because we should have the airfields right ahead right now. So we would look out here, and I think it is somewhere down here. Okay, so let's get the aircraft slowed down here and switch off the autopilot. And by the way, something I have not shown in the video is actually you can take my project and move it to any spot that you like. Just so you know. Okay. Oops. Horn. And now we actually is above the airfield. And that was also what I guessed. Have to look out for some trees. And right there. Right down there. It is down there. Okay. Not sure if you actually saw where I meant, but this I'm looking at it right now. Just as we turn here. It's down by the field here. So we are circling the area right now before landing. Trying to get the airspeed off here and get ready for our main landing here. And making sure that the runway is clear for us to come in and to land. And it seems that it is. I think you all have guessed it. It is right down there, the airfield. Grenaa Airfield. And the strip is actually along those trees. That is our main runway, you can say. And the wind is at 250 degrees. So the wind is coming from around here. So we are on the right track here. So we should be flying towards the airfield as I was expecting. So now let's get ready for our landing here at Grenaa Airfield. Get that flap in and then get the aircraft turned around and let the speed drop. There we go, landing gears down, and then we have to come in here. Coming in a bit hard here, but anyway, we are going for it. There we go. And we have to be careful that we don't end up over by the trees here, of course. That's always a concern here, and it's a bit odd that I actually so close to the trees here, because the airfield, they could actually have moved it more to the right, but it seems like to plant trees right beside the main runway. Up, downstairs, sorry. Oops, that wasn't that great. There we go. That was what what I have expected, and I retracted the flaps, even though you normally don't do it, due to the fact that you don't wanna retract the landing gear. That's actually why the normal procedure always states that you don't retract the flaps before you actually have left the runway, because then you would just end up at the taxiway, and then the traffic would pass on. A few traffic cones there. Bit funny, they are only down here and not along the runway, but could be it's quite realistic. I have to admit, I have never been here. Never been here at Grenaa Airfield. A road sign. That is moving. That is pointing the opposite direction. Okay. Small phone box, it looks like. And a small clubhouse or something. And a few smaller hangings here. And over here it seems like we got some avgas. And then we can see the tractor here. And this small parking area here. I think so. But a nice small airfield here. I'm not entirely sure what you would call those over here in English. Just like you got the traffic cones and you got those objects here. Not sure if it's just me, but doesn't they just look a bit big compared to the building, the aircraft and such? But nevertheless, a nice small airfield here that we explored together, because I haven't been here. As I said, I haven't And that's actually something I have forgotten to say about John's project. It is that some of his projects actually has implemented some sound uh, for the area when you open the doors and such. Um, I don't know if that's also simulated here. Let's see if we can hear anything when we shut down the aircraft completely here. There we go, now it's completely shut down. I don't think so, but anyway, that was the flight for today. I hope you enjoyed it on the long run here, around 46 minutes. But again, thank you for watching and hope to see you again soon. And don't forget that I am open for projects. So, thank you for watching and bye bye.